Thank you for joining us for WHNT News 19 at 10. I'm Kristen Conner. The view of Wilson Dam from Sky 19 today, jaw-dropping. Stephen Mark Stone came to Madison County Court one more time today to begin the penalty phase of his trial after Tuesday's capital murder conviction. With a days-long search for a man on the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's top 10 most wanted list is now over. Police in Scottsboro confirming 33-year-old Simon Porter's arrest there this morning. We were in for some potentially record-breaking warmth. Even though the rain has stopped, you really shouldn't let your guard down while driving. Many problem roads are still flooded. We begin with breaking news: a police presence near a hiking trail off Cecil Ashburn Drive. WHNT News 19's Olivia Whitmire is live at the scene. Traffic court tomorrow in Johnson County, Kansas will be just a little more amusing. This is a huge event. What kind of selection are we talking about this year?
Oh, it is. We have tons of handmade items.
Meteorologist Christina Edwards, she's here with us now to update us on Hurricane Florence. So Christina, when can we expect Florence to make landfall, and what exactly does that mean? Heroes have always been cowboys. You haven't met the young cowgirl that Jerry Hayes found. A California man faces several criminal charges following a Saturday afternoon crime spree. He spoke with the victim's mother earlier today. Aaron, how is she handling this latest news of an arrest in the case? Our sunny Sunday quickly turned stormy, and that caused some headaches for people all over the Tennessee Valley. WHNT News 19's Joel Porter has been on the scene today. And Joel, what can you tell us about the situation? We have a look at her routine. Twiggy looks like a professional, right guys, out on those skis? And that's because she is. Twiggy has been doing this, we have been told, for years. Wow, she did it. There was never really any doubt. Thanks to technology, we caught up with Huntsville's Grace Ragland.
It's a good week for hockey fans in the South.
Yeah, it sure is. And it should be a kind of a gross one for us, though, weather-wise. Yes. Anyway. You're going to love this. A woman in Alberta, Canada, fell through a convenience store ceiling after trying to run from police. You're going to see it right there. Police say it all began when this woman and a man she was with tried to use a stolen credit card.
WHNT News 19 at noon starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for WHNT News 19 at noon. I'm Kristen Conner in for Melissa Ryapka. Breaking news out of Madison County. Deputies took a man into custody this morning on Douglas Road after authorities received a call about someone shooting at passing cars from behind a mailbox. Here on top of the mailbox, the suspected weapon. Deputies have not been able to confirm he fired any shots, saying they took him to the hospital to treat a cut on his arm. A Madison County Sheriff's Office spokesperson said the man was having a mental health crisis. And more breaking news out of DeKalb County. 14-year-old Andrew Morgan, reported missing last night, has now been found. The missing teenager alert went out overnight, saying Morgan was last seen in Mentone around 5 p.m. The Mentone police chief says the teen walked away from his grandmother's house and wandered throughout the night until finding a home near Valley Head around 7 this morning. There, he was given some food and the family alerted authorities. Morgan was taken to the hospital to be checked out and appears to be fine. Authorities have arrested 2 women in Russellville, accusing them of operating an illegal daycare. Eulayla Andreas and Maria Tomas are charged with 13 counts of endangering the welfare of a child and operating a daycare without a license. Police say more than a dozen children, ranging from infants to 2-year-olds, were found in the home on Franklin Street. Investigators say it had been operating for close to a year. Inside, authorities say there was one space heater keeping the children warm, infants confined to their car seats, and toddlers sitting on the floor. The Department of Human Resources has taken possession of the kids until they're reunited with their parents. Both women have been released from jail on bond. There are new developments about the double shooting at the River Chase Galleria in Hoover on Thanksgiving night. The attorney for Aaron Brown, the man charged with attempted murder for shooting an 18-year-old that night, says his client is not guilty and that evidence will show it.
I asked for all body cams, I asked for all video of the scene, so we should get that. But the DA's office, 2 of the fairest DAs I know have this case, and they have always been fair with me, and they're going to give me everything they've got. They don't have it. Aaliyah has it.
A judge has ordered evidence to be released to the defense. There is no guarantee the public will be able to see it. Brown's attorney says when it is released to the public, everyone will see that his client did not start the violence. Let's take a step back now from news and check in with the weather with meteorologist Christina Edwards. Hi, Christina.
Hey, Kristen. It is a cold and breezy afternoon. Even though it's 12 noon, it is still only 44 degrees. A slight improvement from the frosty conditions this morning. The wind out of the southeast about 6 miles per hour, and that's going to make it feel more like 41 degrees outside. So even with it being the noon hour, you are definitely going to want to grab that jacket if you're heading outside for lunchtime. Still in the 30s for Scottsboro at 39, a little bit warmer as you go up towards Lookout Mountain. Fort Payne is at 42, and the warmest spot here on the map would be Muscle Shoals, Florence at 47. What's happening is that we have a layer of cloud cover, high thin clouds, cirrus clouds continuing to stick on top of or stay on top of the Tennessee Valley, and that is why we are going to be rather thin on sunshine for today. These may be thin clouds, but they're going to be enough to block out the majority of the sun. We're not going to warm up a whole lot for this afternoon. Keeping my eye on the rain that is moving through Arkansas right now, and I'm keeping my eye as to what's going to happen for this weekend. You've been hearing about the possible S word for Sunday into Monday. I'll break that down for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Christina. Now, starting January 7th, people who cross over Cecil Ashburn Drive will see a big change. The road will be closed for 10 months for speedy construction. The project is to widen the stretch of road from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. And after 10 months, the remaining work is expected to be completed in 6 to 8 months with 2 lanes open to traffic. So if that's your main route for travel in or out of Hampton Cove, here are some alternative routes to take. Take a look at your screen now. Highway 431, which travels over Governor's Drive, Highway 72 via the Eastern Bypass and Rock Cut Road, and Memorial Parkway cutting through Hobbs Island Road that reaches Highway 231. You can buy a model space launch system, and it can help the Space and Rocket Center with a worthy cause. It's for a new art project called Rockets on Parade. These model SLSs you see there, they're available for a $1,500 purchase. Leaders tell us 300 of that will go to rocket restoration at the center. The idea is for businesses, churches, and even schools to buy the rockets and decorate them ahead of the 50th anniversary of the moon landing next July.
We're painting SLSs in Huntsville, so any business, any person, any individual can buy one of these rockets that's unpainted, the SLS, the Space Launch System, and have it painted by an artist. Then we'll have a competition, and we'll select the most original one out of all the group.
Information about how to get started is on WHNT.com. President George Herbert Walker Bush will be buried today on the grounds of his presidential library following his funeral in Houston. Mola Lange is in Texas for today's send-off.
We are the Lord's.
A final farewell for President George Herbert Walker Bush this morning in his adopted hometown of Houston, Texas. Family members and invited guests gathered in St. Martin's Episcopal Church, where George and Barbara Bush worshiped. U.S. and world leaders have been paying tribute to Mr. Bush since his passing last week. After a lifetime of military and public service, the 41st president is being called the last great soldier statesman.
We're here today in the house of the Lord to say goodbye to a man of great faith and great integrity, a truly beautiful human being.
People here in Houston have great affection for the Bush family, who lived here for decades and were active community members.
They put a major spotlight in the city of Houston. It was, a international icon. 41 was a good man.
Overnight, Texans filed through the Houston church to say goodbye.
It just feels like a family member has passed.
The casket carrying the remains of Mr. Bush was flown to Texas Wednesday following an emotional state funeral in Washington, D.C.
The best father a son or daughter could have.
Following today's funeral, a train will carry Mr. Bush to the grounds of his presidential library in College Station, Texas. He will be laid to rest next to his wife, Barbara, who passed away earlier this year, and their daughter, Robin, who died at the age of 3. Mola Lange, CBS News, Houston.
And the train that will take President Bush's body from Houston to his library in College Station is a special locomotive unveiled in 2005, and it has a connection to North Alabama. Dubbed 4141 in the honor of the 41st president, it was painted to look like Air Force One. The company that built the special train, Progress Rail, is based in Albertville, though it has locations across the globe, and the locomotive was built elsewhere. Virginia College in Huntsville is closing sooner than expected, and some students are now trying to figure out if they can graduate on time. The school announced this week it will have to close on Friday after an oversight group pulled its accreditation grant. There are 4 Virginia colleges in Alabama. Several students in Huntsville were specializing in medical-related degrees. The school told the students they have until December 18th to turn in their assignments and hours, but some of them tell us that's impossible.
There's not enough hours in the day for the office that I work for to be open for me to get those hours.
All right, how much do you have left to finish?
A little less than 100 hours, but of externship. So I'm already done with my classes, but we'll see.
You think you can get it done?
Hopefully, we'll try and.
Virginia College is owned by the Education Corporation of America. They're required to report to the executive committee by December 19th with how many students graduated and what they're doing to help the remaining students. Thank you for watching WHNT News 19 at noon. Meteorologist Christina Edwards is working on your forecast. She'll have an update in just a few minutes. But first, here's an update on the markets. The Dow Jones is down 434 points. The NASDAQ is down a little over 20. And the S&P 500 is down 33. We'll be right back.